Good morning, everybody. Welcome to the Strawberry Sundays podcast. I'm joined by the unreal KyzenKyle. How are you, fella?
Doing really good today. Had a busy day of study. So kind of was looking forward to this, to be fair. It kind of motivated me to just get the work done and yeah, come on and talk this is my first ever gaming podcast that I've been on. Uh, I used to be into fitness. I used to have a Instagram account, and I used to get invited on podcasts. I even have my own podcast. I love listening to podcasts, and honestly, like being every time I'm on one, I'm just really, really grateful because people are taking their time of the day to listen, and for you to reach out to me and be interested in whatever I'm doing, I'm really, really grateful, and I feel blessed to be on your podcast and anyone that's listening.
It's an absolute pleasure. Absolute pleasure. So we'll get straight into it. So if you start by just giving a bit of an introduction to yourself for anyone that doesn't know who you are, what your content's based on.
Yeah, so I guess I'm very new to this whole industry, even though that I've been gaming my whole life. I think I've only really found Twitch. The first streamer I watched was this guy called Exact, and it was in last year around April because of the lockdown and everything. I got bored, started watching YouTube, playing Warzone, as many of us did, and I came across this stream and at first I was just like, this is weird, like what's going on? Like why is this guy playing games and talking to people that aren't in the room? And it's just but then I've always enjoyed watching YouTube videos as a kid growing up. And I always liked following content creators, and I found a lot of value from them. Like I do think there are a lot of influencers out there that have had a positive impact in my life. So I started watching this guy stream, and he's just so positive, man. Like when I die in a game, like I get ragey, I get angry, but he was just like, "Oh, GG's, man!" And that made me look at the game in like a more positive light. Like I was like, "Oh, these guys are also just trying to have fun on the game." So that really was the first time I could see, because with content creators that post on YouTube, it's all edited,
Yeah.
but streaming is just like live and raw, just footage of people. Obviously, like there's some people who can act and like pretend to be other people, but there are a lot of people that are just genuinely on the platform to spread positivity, to do what they love. And so I do think like it was a great introduction to this whole streaming world. And so coming back to your question, this is something that I'm very new to. I started streaming to zero people, like one person, which was like, I don't know, Nightbot or like Commander Root or someone. But to no one, it was just like, I'm playing the game. I might as well try and stream it. I streamed it from my MacBook, so I was getting frame drops. I was playing on my PS4, but I would like just hop on with the boys, and then I would play Search and Destroy because Warzone wasn't out. Not Warzone wasn't out, but like I didn't play much Warzone. I was always kind of like a multiplayer, like pubs kind of guy, and so I would stream Search and Destroy and whatnot, and I would meet people, and then they would come into my streams and just like build like your own little community of like three people that come in every day and say hi, and it's a great feeling, especially with lockdown and everything. I think it was a good opportunity to meet new people and whatnot. And so that's why I think with streaming, what I try and do is be as positive as possible, which is hard because you can't be positive every day. You can't feel good every day, and that's just life. And I only want to turn on my stream when I'm in a good mood,
Yeah.
um, because I don't want to be spreading negative vibes. And this is the whole thing with which I think a few people disagree with, is that this grind culture, this grind mentality, I don't necessarily agree with it, especially when you're a small content creator. Because let's say you're like Nick Merck's size, then I think consistency is very important in terms of like showing up and stream every single day, pumping out YouTube content, being on social media, maintaining social media presence. But I do think like as a smaller content creator, it's definitely quality over quantity. So I've told people this, and a lot of people have taken the advice. Some haven't, But I mean, that's what I'm trying to do, and that's why I didn't want to. That's why I stopped streaming when I had to focus on uni, because I said, look, like I'm gonna turn on the stream. I'm in Asia, so I have to stream at probably around like 12 a.m., 1 a.m. And I'm not really in, like, I've become nocturnal because of the time difference, and my classes were online and whatever. So I'd always have to stay up really late. And so I said, look, there's no point, turning on your stream. You're probably exhausted from the day of work and just not being able to spread good vibes. So it was painful because I love streaming. I genuinely like love when I turn on the stream and I just see familiar faces. Like there's something nice about that. Like it's like going to school and you like see your friends,
Mm.
and there's something good for your mental health that streaming has brought to me. And like I'm a huge fan of streamers. Like I watch a lot of Twitch too, and I I do think like it's had a really positive impact on my own mental health. Like um, I haven't really opened up much about this. Like I made a YouTube video about it, but like I had a serious battle with depression last year, and I just felt really really lonely. And this is kind of like before I started, like I bought a PC, started streaming properly. But this is when I had to move back and my sleep was messed up, and it was just a hard time. But Twitch was, and certain streamers were really, had a positive impact in helping me overcome that, because uni was getting hard and I just needed like a stress relief. I didn't have any friends back here. Most of them are overseas, so didn't really have a social life either. Playing Warzone helped. Watching streams helped. So that's why, when I stream, when I turn on my stream, I try and spread good vibes, and that's what I'm about. And if anyone has an issue, if they want to reach out to me, obviously I'm not a psychologist. I'm not trained, so like, at the same time, I'm not here to like give advice all the time. Like I do think sometimes just being a good listener, letting someone vent. Like I think that can be really really useful. So, and there are a lot of people in the community that have helped me, who've just been on Discord with me, or just watch, for example, like Mike Revolt. Just go into his stream and he gets super weird, screams "Hoya" all the time, and like that just cheers me up. So I do think like that's kind of my goal with this, is to just try and help people overcome these things. And I know later on you're going to ask me questions about Kaizen, but that was kind of actually why I formed Kaizen in the first place. It was actually in January, just after I overcame that dark time, and Kaizen really gave me a purpose. It gave me a reason to be on this platform, to be on social media, because there's a lot of negativity out there. I mean, no matter where you go, there's always going to be negative people. But like, you know, it doesn't take a lot to just be nice and don't be a dick. I think yeah, I think it goes a long way. And I've had a lot of people reach out to me in DMs, which always make my day. And I screenshot every single one of them, and I have a folder on my phone. Those like bad days, we all get them, and I go through the screenshots and remind myself like, this is why you share these things online. This is why you spread positivity. It's because it genuinely helps people. So yeah,
Yeah, I think there's a lot of
that's
people that might be able to relate, and talking about, like bad times and depression and those sorts of things coming through, and using gaming as a sort of as an escape where people can, overcome and help people, get better. Um,
definitely.
Even myself, before my daughter was born, went through a really dark time, um, etc., etc. But then, like you say, those triggers of people saying, just being a good listener, someone just literally just sitting there where you vent can help someone massively. So
Yeah,
for you offering that to everyone and everyone, and you see it all across, social media. It's not something that you are blasting to be like, this is what I want to be known as. You are genuinely being that support for a hell of a lot of people, and hats off for that, because that's, it is a big responsibility. so to speak. But like you say, you're not offering, you're not a psychiatrist, you're not doing all that sort of thing, but you are just being there to listen to people when they need to just get things off their chest. And like you say, that little thing can go a hell of a long way to people that are struggling. So again, really, really hats
Yeah.
off to that.
Hey, thank you for the kind words. I mean, it took me a long time to. Uh, I won't get too much into like my fitness history, but kind of I think like the gaming industry and the fitness industry both have very similar battles with mental health. I do think there's like this image issue, and that I mean boils down to social media, right? Like the honestly like comparison, like obviously the cliche quote, "Comparison is the thief of joy," and it's so true, you know. Like, but it happens subconsciously. Like you're not in control of comparison sometimes. Like it just happens, you know. You're on social media, you see someone doing better than you, and then suddenly you're just like taken back. And so like I always kind of just shrugged it off my shoulder and I would like just keep it in and just like deal with it, you know? But then it like got to a point where it got really bad and then I started to open up and I realized that a lot of people in the community felt that way too. Um and so I do think there's a responsibility and I don't think a lot of people realize it, is that when you post on social media, it actually has an effect on people. And so that's why I try and post, you know, most of my time, I'm sure pretty much all of my tweets at this point. There were some times where, you know, I would like post, you know, negative stuff, but that was in the past. But I was like, okay, you need to make sure that whatever you post has some sort of value and it's gonna like if it helps one person, then like that's a good reason to post. Like I do, you know, like when honestly, like with Twitter, there's like less filter than Instagram. Right? I think a lot. And that's, honestly, it's why I like Twitter more than Instagram. Instagram is very filtered, it's very edited, and you can't really just post random thoughts. Um, but Twitter can get too much sometimes. Like sometimes I'll open it, like taking a break, and then you know someone's having a bad day. They post about it on Twitter, blah blah blah, and then I don't know. There's some beef between people. It's like you know, like I don't want to be a part of it. It's firstly also none of my business, but it just appears on my timeline, and so like then it affects me negatively. Like I'm just like it doesn't really improve my mood. And so like I try not to do that on Twitter when I can because I know it affects me and I don't want it to affect other people. And so like I do think that a lot more people need to consider this on social media, and especially if you're a content creator that wants to succeed in the long run. Like if you're for example like a big organization like 100 Thieves and you go and check out this person's social media, let's say they have 100,000 followers, they got a good following on their social media, they're just negative. They're not really giving any value. They're just like doing this and that. It's like, why would this organization want you apart? Like the whole idea of it is a value exchange, right? You got to be offering value in some shape or form. So I do think like anyone that's out there thinking of you know being in this industry, like start treating your social media more carefully because you know, when we die, and all of us will die eventually, like all that's going to be left is, you know, what you've posted on social media. It's going to be there forever. And so, like, think about that. Like, we all do have the responsibility to think twice before you post, and that's why I've like, some people might say like, look, you're very like careful with it. You're always positive, blah blah. Truth is, I'm not always positive, and I've posted about that before, and but I want to like make sure that I'm making someone feel good about themselves, someone to give someone motivation where I can, and that's me though. Look, like you guys do whatever you want. That's always been my thing. Like I'll never like you know force someone to be someone they're not. You know, if you want to do that, that's your thing. But I do think like that would be just you know take it as you will. Um, and if you want to listen to my advice, you can. If you don't, because like look, I'm building a brand myself, and you know I'm very you know, I look at people's social medias. I'm like, look, you're a great Warzone player, but are you really treating your social media as something that you know a brand or an org would want you to be involved with? Um, and so, yeah, maybe I'm trying to lead by example. I don't know, but that just like for me, that's just how I feel about this whole social media thing and what my content's kind of aimed for. Um, Yeah.
I think you've literally hit the nail on the head there, especially with sort of social media. Um, you've got a lot of players that, again, are, like you say, unbelievable Warzone players, but they treat their social media like you've got to think of it more as a business, as a platform that, like you say, if an organization or a brand want to come and approach you, they have they don't have your personal opinions on everything. You arguing with people, you bring in that negative energy because again, that's something that a brand would not want. Um,
Yep.
so I think again, you've hit the nail straight on the head there.
But
We'll
I
go
yeah.
go on. We'll go back to sort of the start of your sort of childhood, growing up,
Hmm.
sort of where gaming was sort of introduced to yourself, and then we'll obviously get into Kaizen a bit later.
Yeah, sounds good. I mean, gaming has always been like a social thing for me. Like I hate playing the game on myself. Like I just can't. Like I get so bored like just playing by myself. That's why I rarely play like campaigns or like just games that don't really involve other people. I love the social aspect of it. Since I was a kid, we had our Game Boys. The first ever console, like first ever exposure I got to gaming was probably the PS1. I had an older cousin who had a PS1, and I would always get excited to go to his house and just play this like one shooting game. It was kind of like an arcade game. Um, but it was just like you play like I would play my little brother and I would always beat him because he's like 2 years younger. But now he's really good at games. He's actually outside like playing Need for Speed. He's so good at it. But like it's always been a thing. I'm always been competitive by nature, even though I'm honestly like I'm not great at anything. I've always just been average. I'm kind of like a jack of all trades. Like I'm average at everything. I played a lot of sport, and it was just this competitive mindset that I found in gaming as well. And I was just get better, like the feeling of getting better, increasing your levels, being better than your friends, getting to show off your achievements. Like there's this whole like that's what attracted me to gaming. But I mean, the most important part was the social aspect. And so it was the PS1. Then I had Game Boys. I got the Game Boy Advance, Game Boy Color. Then I had Nintendo DS, PSPs, and then I had the PlayStation 3, PlayStation 4. I had the PlayStation 4 for ages, and then I only made the switch to PC in December last year. And damn, I wish I started on PC sooner, man. Like, there's so many more games, but all my friends were on console. So yeah, I think like gaming's just been a massive social. It was part of my social life. I used to never do my homework in middle school, and my parents used to like I'd just pretend. I'd be like, "Mommy, I'm going to my room to do homework." Close the door, just freaking game. And then after they go to sleep, I'll go sneak into the game room and just game all night with my friends. And it was just great. Like some of the best memories is just like, you know, playing with the boys. And it happened with Warzone too. With lockdown, and I'm over in Asia. And my friends are in the UK. They were in Australia. And so like just being able to play with them, like even though we're not together, there's just like something about the interaction, like when something stupid happens on the game, like a loadout drops on your friend, and you just like, it's just such banter, it's just great vibes. And I mean, there are times where I take the game seriously, and I never really saw the competitive aspect until probably when I started streaming. And I actually made a Twitch account because back in I think May last year, my friend signed us up to a tourney, and it was actually for his university. And I had to stream it because obviously they had to check if you were legit. They have to check the scores, whatever.
Yeah.
So I just made a Twitch for that. I didn't even watch people on it. I just made it, streamed it straight from my PS4's total terrible gameplay. Because I played FIFA for 7 years. I used to play Modern Warfare, so my first Call of Duty was Call of Duty 3. I had that. Played that on PS3, but it was only campaign. Didn't really play multiplayer. Then I used to play COD 4, but I would only play split screen with the boys, like after school. We'd go downstairs to my basement and we'd play COD 4 split screen, and it would be like 8 of us, and we'd take turns and everything. And I played the campaign like over and over. I love the campaign of COD 4. It was so good. And then, of course, like Call of Duty 5 came out. Then I played also like Modern Warfare 2. Modern Warfare 2 was probably my favorite COD of all time. That was when I got into multiplayer, where all my friends, came on. We even started our own clan. It was called Pumbaa, from freaking Lion King, and we would just like go with, like right shields. Like we were the kind of players that were not good at the game, but just like had fun. Like I was never a competitive player, but I've always just enjoyed being with the boys and whatnot. And then so like Call of Duty probably be like I'm definitely a Call of Duty player. I dabbled here and there with Battlefield, which was fun, and but I definitely do like Call of Duty more because it's a faster paced game. I do have a little bit of like attention, I like I have to like change. I can't stay in the game for too long, you know.
Yeah.
So that's why Warzone. Initially, I didn't want to play Warzone. I was like Battle Royale, like Fortnite. I don't like Fortnite. I don't want to play this game. And then all my boys from high school were like, "Oh, dude, I haven't seen you in a while, but I play Warzone. You want to run a game?" I'm like, all right, sure, sure. And then it's just like you really get into it, man. I would chase wins. I wasn't the best player. I started off with like a .77 KD in Warzone when I started, but I had like gun skill. Like I play a lot of like Modern Warfare. But it was just like I grinded Damascus camo. I got Obsidian for 14 weapons. I actually just like enjoyed the grinding aspect of it.
Yeah.
And I grinded all the camos, and then I didn't really grind Warzone. I just like saw it as a time to play my friends, and then I started watching Twitch, and Twitch changed everything. I was like, oh, now I want to sweat. I want to play solo quads. I want to like go and like. That's why the first guy I met was so I watched Joe Woe and Exact last year in around April, May. Like they had like low hundreds. Like you look at Joe Woe now, he's like in the thousands.
Yeah.
And so like, dude, I was like, what is this guy doing? Why is he playing solo quads? What an idiot. It's like, bro, where's your team? Like, who's gonna revive you? But I just saw the skill with it. I'm like, holy, dude, I've never seen. Like, I used to watch, Machinima. You like White Boy 7 First Street. There was this guy called Junkyard I used to watch. Obviously, FaZe Pamaj, all the FaZe boys. Zerka used to be like
Yeah.
a sniper and MW2. Like, I would always like love trick shots, but I was never a trick shotter, so like I never really got into it. But I was like, damn, that's so sick. Like these guys, practicing for hours and hours, and then just like you just wait for a bit of luck, and then preparation meets luck, and then they hit this nasty trick shot. And it's YouTube content. It was great. I loved it. But then I started watching these like longer form videos of guys running around by themselves in quads and trios, and it's just like that's insane. And it really like just changed the way I look at the game. I'm like, okay, this is how you get better. And I would like put in sessions, even though like I wouldn't play with the boys or whatever. I'll just play by myself. It was boring. I couldn't do it more than an hour. I would do it. I play like solo duos at first, and solo trios, and then solo quads. And then I started seeing an improvement. I'm like, oh, this is so cool. Like, I'm like, oh shit, I want to be like Joe Woe one day. And then so I started off just watching those two, and then I found the UK community. It was actually Angus. It was called Angus Sims back then. But yeah, I actually followed him because of his name. I followed Angus because of his name, and then I went in there and I was like, bro, this kid's really cool. Like, how's he 16? What the heck? He's like such a mature dude. And then met people in this community. And what was the first thing that kind of struck out was the amount of girls in his chat. Because like you don't really talk in Joe Woes or Exact chat. Like it's just too many people. Like, holy smokes, there's like 5 girls in here. Girls watch Twitch. Obviously, like you're at home by yourself and you're like, oh, it's kind of nice to like talk to a girl. Like whether that's like online or in person is like, oh hey, how's it going? You know. It's like, oh shit, this is so sick. What a lovely community. They're all so nice, and you'd see them every single day, and it was just good vibes. And I was like, oh, why don't I start streaming as well, like more consistently? I used to just stream for fun with my buddy Dan, who I'm sure we'll talk about later because he created Kaizen with me. And so he was the one that actually started streaming. Uh, yeah, we can get into that later. But yeah, so I saw Angus and I loved his streams, and then I met everyone else. That's how it happened. That's how I actually like met all these amazing people. Was through Angus's community, and I met Mike Revolt, and I soon just fell in love with everyone. And the UK community is amazing. I genuinely like. Yeah, there are negatives. Like there's some people that are like Nitro Luke, obviously. People like him that spread negative vibes. But I mean, that's life, man. Like you're always gonna get dickheads, that are
Yeah.
just insecure and want to put other people down. And so like you get them, but then you find positive people and you're like, shit, I love this. Like this is so cool. Like I want to be a part of this. And then I was like, what the heck is a gifted sub, right? So I didn't know what a gifted sub was, dude. I didn't even know I didn't even sub to anyone. I was like, what the heck is this? Like, there's like, why would I pay for free something for free? Like that was literally my first thing. But then you like see like this guy, who's super passionate about what he's doing or she's doing, and they're like doing this full time, and they have bills to pay, they have to eat food, they have things they pay for. And then I'm like, oh, why not help them out? Like at first it was about the money, to be fair. But I do look at gifted subs differently now. It's not so much about the money. I do think it can be a morale booster, firstly.
Mm.
When a creator, streamer sees his or her sub goal go up, I love doing that, helping people hit their sub goals. But I also look at it as building a community, like like I've had people, like the following day come and like DM me, like, or whisper in chat or whatever and say like, oh, thanks for the gifted sub to this person. And I actually got a message. I was in this Australian streamer the other day, and he's been following this streamer for like 6 months now. And he was like, oh my God, Kyle, I recognize you, whatever. You were the first, like, you gave me my first sub. He's like, that was 6 months ago, bro, and like, you remembered?
Mm.
It's like, it's crazy, man. Like, I do think like it makes an impact. And I've been in a fortunate position. I actually left home when I was 14. I went to boarding school, and I started getting an allowance. And I think it was my dad who told me. Someone told me like, whatever you earn, like just save 50% of it. So I just like, I opened a savings account, and at 14, because I was like, it was like a kind of like it had this thing called like a kid savings account or something. So I asked my dad to help me set it up. Now whatever allowance he gave me, I just put 50% in there. Just boom, boom, boom. And then I was in the army and I saved most of that. And I would just like live very frugally. I have like 7 t-shirts, 2 shirts, 2 pairs of shoes. Like I don't buy like that many things. Like I do think like, with money, it's actually what's more important is how you spend your money than how you make your money.
Yeah.
Because you can be a millionaire, right? But if you're spending millions a year, you're not going to be a millionaire for much longer. It's about how you use that money. Because I honestly think like if you really want, you can make money. There's always a way to make money, no matter what. Like every single one of us has something to offer. You just really have to find that. And I do think with the internet, content creation, it's just so it's just like the amount of opportunity out there is crazy. So it's more about spending money. And so like I've always had this mindset of save, save, save. And then when you have time or whatever, think about how you like where you're gonna put this money. And obviously 6 years ago, like I had this friend come along and he was like, hey, do you know about crypto? I was like, what the heck's crypto, dude? Like, it sounds stupid, man. It sounds like a scam. So then he started like teaching me about it and whatnot. He's like, yeah, you should just put like a bit of your savings in there and just like let it grow. Like, yeah, all right, fine. So like I won't get into too much detail because I'm not one to give financial advice. I actually got quite lucky with crypto. I put like quite like a decent amount of my savings, like an amount that he was like, put in what you're like, if you lose it, you lose it. So I
Yeah.
did. And then here we are, like, I don't know, 6 years later, and it's just like taken off. And so like I got lucky. I did. Like honestly, look, I'm not gonna give any advice because to be fair, I'm not an expert or anything. I got lucky. I had a friend who knew what he was doing. But luckily I saved money, and I do think like the first thing you should do is save. Like as soon as you start making money, save it. Like save 50% of it. Like if you don't have bills to pay, especially like kids they're still in school, you're living with your parents, you don't have rent to pay. Like save that money. You never know what opportunities are gonna come. So like so I had some crypto, and like initially I was like, yo, I'm gonna go buy a nice watch, like I want a Rolex or something, like
Yeah.
treat myself. And I'm like, dude, like, bro, you're gonna buy this Rolex and then you're gonna like just feel really like just like it's a materialistic item.
Yeah.
So I'm like, nah, I'm not gonna do it. I'm gonna like save it or whatever. And then I got introduced to introduced to like this gifting sub thing, and like you know what, if I can be in a position to support someone, you know, who every single content creator that's doing this full time, that's spreading good vibes, that is very like a very genuine person, like I want to help them out. I want to help them grow their community. And so that's why, you know, that's why I've done what I've done. Some people think it's for clout. You know, like people are gonna think whatever. You know, like but I just like this is who I am. I don't have to explain myself. Um, and I'm only gonna do it to people that I do think deserve it. And so yeah, that's kind of my take on Twitch. I just like want to also give back to people who have made me feel really good. Um, and there are a few of them in your chat right now. And so yeah, I just want to give back. And honestly, like for me, it's I feel like I found this out quite young, um, because I've kind of seen, you know, like the negative side of it too. But I do think like it's about helping other people. Like you can be selfish in this life, you can, but you know, at the end of the day, I don't think that it's as fulfilling. Um, and I mean, it's why people get depressed sometimes because they don't have meaning. They don't have a purpose. They don't. I mean, I was in a bad place too because I didn't have anything. I was scared after uni. I'm like, am I just gonna go work at an office job? It's just like the thought of that, just like,
Mm.
dude, I can't, bro. Like, I want to do something more meaningful, you know. And so that's where I created the idea with my buddy Dan, who's in the chat right now, Mr. Dan P. So his stream was his stream was one of the first streams I fell in love. Sorry, it was I actually watched Dan before I watched Angus, so Angus came later on. But Dan was the first stream I watched, and when I first saw him stream, I was like, no offense, Dan, but at first, like, I was also kind of new to it, so I was like, what is this guy doing, bro? Like, why are you streaming, bro? It's kind of weird, like, cause you know, like he wasn't streaming to that many people, right? All his friends were watching, so I was like, and then I kind of fell in love. I was like, dude, I love this. This is so cool. Um, and then I started just like always tuning in. I can see him laughing in the chat. Always tuning in, and it was just like I don't know. It was always good vibes, and still to this day, he's back streaming again. And like just yesterday, 2 days ago, like I was like, oh fuck, I did a past paper, and I was like, I did really badly on the past paper. I'm like, oh no. Then I was like, okay, I'll just like go on Twitch. Went to his chat. It was just such good vibes. And it's like, you know, like I love people that do that, who put themselves out there, who are themselves, and you know, are taking a risk by putting themselves out there and trying to spread good vibes. You know, that's I respect that a lot. Like I have so much admiration for that, and that's why Dan and I, to be fair, so Kaizen was actually like I remember I was actually on the toilet, bro. Like, you know, sometimes you get those ideas when you're in the toilet. In the shower, if you're taking a number two, you just like, frick, dude, this is a great idea. So we were both streaming to like basically like 5 people max. Both of us affiliated, whatever. Like, oh, we're gonna participate in Warzone tournaments. We're gonna be competitors. Hey, dude, we should build a team, bro. Like, you know, like typical, like, because we're both like very new to Twitch and stuff, and so we didn't know much about it, and we just loved Warzone. We loved like getting people together and like meeting new people. So like yeah, let's like build a team. Then it was like I started thinking more about it. I'm like, bro, like teams are there's so many clans out there, bro. Like the word clan is like kind of like just not as cool. Like I remember when I played MW2 and I was like, dude, I want to get in a clan. You know, like I want to make my own clan. Like clans were cool, but now it's like nah. And then so I started doing more research. I always liked FaZe because they were not just a gaming brand, like they were cool. Like they were like a lifestyle brand.
Mm.
They were not just an org, you know, like they had, you know, content creators that weren't just playing games. They were like doing cool shit. And I always like thought that was cool. I was like, fuck, that's like sick, man. Like fitness was a huge part of me. So when I saw a gamer that was fit, like Phase Sensor back then, I really loved him, and he made gym videos and he was playing games, and it's like, oh, that's so sick. But I was like, why is there no more of this like competitive mentality, like put into like Face has kind of gone to like more like streetwear and like hype beast kind of vibe. That's not what I'm really about. And so that's why We're like, okay, let's like try and create a name. And Dan was like, bro, look, he was like, because he didn't really know me that well. We knew each other from school, but we were never like, we were just acquainted. Like, we never like talked properly. And he's like, oh, dude, you might think this is kind of weird, but I really like Japanese culture and it should be a Japanese name. I'm like, bro, bam. I knew straight away that was going to be called Kaizen because I actually found the name back in high school when I did this. This is like business course, and Kaizen is essentially like the philosophy. It's a Japanese business philosophy of continuous improvement. It's incremental improvement. It's looking at the process. It's looking at what can we improve. If we can improve something by 1%, like that's going to compound. It's going to improve the whole process. So I'm like, bro, that's like exactly what gaming is. That's exactly what fitness is. That's exactly what personal development and just how to achieve any form of success is, right? It's that athletic mindset, which is, get better small, like incrementally, like 1%. If it's 1%, you're improving no matter what. So I was like, dude, that's this philosophy that applies to gaming and fitness, which is both of our passions. And I do think like fitness brings so much to people's lives. For me, the gym was, yeah, it improved my body, but what it really did, because I was always just like awkward kid, because I was like chubby and I was gaming. I like food was a huge part of my life, my culture. Whenever I have a bad day, my mom will cook me something nice. So I've always like, you know, loved food so much. So I was a chubby kid, right? And I wasn't good at sport, whatever. But then once I hit the gym, bro, like my confidence just skyrocketed. Like I just felt good about myself. I felt like, but it's like basic psychology. Like if you're achieving something, you feel good. Like it's this like feedback loop. So, and it's the same with games. Why games are so addicting because you feel this sense of improvement, getting better. Participating in competitions. It's why I like sport as well. Um, and so I do think like this aspect of Kaizen like can really just help a lot of people. And obviously we haven't started the brand yet. We haven't pumped a lot of content out. We've like kind of teased it here and there. I've talked about Kaizen, and so has Dan. But Dan resonated it straight away when he heard the word. He's like, "Dude, that's sick." And it's like we both like we were on a Discord call or Messenger call or whatever, and we're just like, "Dude, yes, like this is sick." And then like I'm born in the year of the ox, like Chinese zodiac, and then I'm also Taurus, which is my star sign. So like bulls, oxes have always been. And it was weird was like a cat, like cows are my favorite animal because I'm half Irish, and there's a lot of cows in Ireland, and I just like always thought they were so peaceful, man. Like they would just like eat grass all day. It's like I want to be a cow, dude. Like you have no worries, you just lays in the field eating grass. Like that's why I always love cows. And like I don't know, I've always had this like thing about this ox mentality, like just an ox plowing a rice field, just like put your head down, do the work, kind of just it was just a strong symbol. And so like I had a nickname in the army. It was Ox. And so like I kind of just like ran with that. So I was actually in the army for 2 years because all Singaporean boys have to do it. But it's the same mindset, like the Kaizen philosophy, like it applies to fitness, it applied to the army, it applied to getting good grades in university, it applied to doing well in the gym, it applies to streaming, it applies to honestly like anything. I just see Quake in the chat. Likes cows but scared of pigeons. Yeah, I have a fear of pigeons because actually I was attacked by pigeons when I was a kid. We'll get into that if people want to know, but like I'm already getting goosebumps. I hate pigeons so much. Um, and look, like, and then so I actually got a designer to design like this ox head. I was like, I want it minimalistic. I want it like really clean looking, just simple. And so that's where we got the logo. And that's how it kind of started. And then we got the 3 lines in the Kaizen. That was actually by accident. I saw this guy on Twitter. His name was Kyle too, and he had the 3 lines on his name. I was like, oh, I want to make my Twitter thing like that. So I had that before. But I'm like, oh, it might like kind of look cool in the Kaizen logo. And so I did that, and that's how it started. And then I started talking about it on stream and got good feedback. Then we were like, yo, we should create a regiment. And then started with the regiment, and then it was just kind of like you take it day by day. And then I met some amazing people. They know who they are if they're in the chat right now. That I've talked to that share similar goals, similar mindset, that are helping me build this brand behind the scenes. And And for us, like the number one priority with Kaizen is to help people improve their lives. And we could see it with the people who are kind of already part of the brand. They're freaking crushing it, and it's just like holy smokes, like if we like it's helping me and Dan too, who have like we've created this, like it's something like I remind myself every day, like the Kaizen mentality is just continuous improvement. Like if it's like, for example, in an essay, like I sat there, I'm like, dude, it's 4,000 words, bro, like I CBA right now. I'm like, bro, like look, if you write a sentence, okay, like just write a sentence, bro, like that's all that matters. Just write a sentence, write 100 words, like that's a little bit towards your goal, and that's what's important. It's not about like trying to write the whole essay at once, right? It's like that ancient saying. I think it was like you can't eat an elephant whole. You have to take it like piece by piece or something. Some weird ass person created that who eats elephants. But like, well, basically, it's like kind of like that. You know, like you just take it bit by bit, 1%. And it same goes for like financial advice, right? It's like if you can save $1, just do it. Like it's 1% towards a goal. Um, and it it really makes sense. And I've I used to like I'm very just I don't know, I guess you could call it creative, but I have so many ideas. Like since I was a kid, I've always had ideas, and none of them, I've probably had about 500 ideas, and I've always had this one friend who would be completely blunt, like, and just say it's a stupid idea. And I've had quite a few that I thought were brilliant, and I even said, like, just was like, no, 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 trust me. And I would like write out the business model, like look at strategy, do market research. I'm like, oh, actually, this is a stupid idea, you know. But then with Kaizen, it's like there's something about it that's just like my gut is like, fuck, you need to do this. Like you really need to do this. Like I don't know what it was, but it was just like don't think too much about it. Like just try and apply it to yourself and share the journey, share what you've learned, and see what happens, you know? So like that's kind of how it started. Like just it was a gut feeling, and of course like massive shout out to my buddy Dan, who honestly, he was the only one that believed in it at the beginning. He was like my yes man, you know. He was the one that was like, "This is a great idea, and I would want to be a part of it." Because both of us were streaming, both of us didn't really know what we wanted to do after uni. We're finishing around the same time. He's done, so congrats, Dan. I still have like my finals next week. That I'm doing, but then yeah, I'm done uni, and look, I think like in your 20s, you don't have to have life figured out. That's why I see like these like young kids on Twitch streaming and they're freaking crushing it, like Angus, Quake, Birds, Quirky, like all these kids that are there's so many more, of course, but like that are genuinely just crushing it, and you're young, and like when they're like, oh, I don't like I want to achieve this. Like it's good to have this hunger, but like also like reflect that you're not even 20 yet and you're doing this, you're making money. Dude, when I was 16, when I was 17, bro, when I was all the way till 20, man, like I was nowhere. Like, I wasn't doing anything, man. Like I was in the army, you know. I actually wanted to sign on to the army. I wanted to do it full time. Thank God this Twitch thing came into my life and met so many amazing people because of it. It's shown me that I do think that this is something I'd love to do after university. And hey, look, we can't plan too far ahead. Would I love to do this for the rest of my life? Yeah, I would love to help people improve their lives. Like that would be amazing. That would be amazing. I actually used to be a personal trainer. Um, back in my fitness days, I did a course, whatever. I did personal training online, so I made a little bit of money from there too. I saved all of it. I didn't really spend it. But yeah, like anyone listening right now, when you start earning money, like you young birds out there that are just earning money on Twitch, like save your money, save it. Just save most of it, and if you can cut costs, by cooking for yourself more, walking instead of taking a taxi. If want to sell your bike that you don't really use, put that in a bank. There's going to be an opportunity in the future, whether that's, you want to buy a new PC, reinvest into something that you're passionate about. I think that's what's important. It's about just building it one by one, piece by piece. That Kaizen mentality is like the same. Like that would honestly be like as simple as I can make it, is just save money, and then in the future, when you have the right opportunity, once you're educated enough, too many people are jumping into crypto not knowing what the heck's going on. And that's why I just sit there and I'm just like, bro, like, please just educate yourself. Like, you really don't want to gamble now. And like put in, if you don't know much about it and if you really want to put money in, like put in something that you're willing to lose. I still have left just most of my whatever I've invested. I just left it in there because like for me it's like money that I would have never had anyways. I got really lucky. And I've given away a large portion of it. Because for me it's like I'm lucky, man. Like I'll share this. I'm not gonna just be selfish about it because it won't feel as good. It feels good when you share things, you know. Um, and so for me, it's like the same with content. Like it's about sharing what I've learned. Like why am I keeping this for myself? Like that would be kind of selfish. Like I want to, and for me, it's like yeah, the stream's one thing, but if I can create a brand that shares this mentality, a brand that preaches this mindset that can help people with their self development, and there's content around it that helps people go through it, then wouldn't that be sick? Like, wouldn't it be awesome to have a brand like that? So, I mean, that's what Dan and I are doing. We're thinking of ideas. We've had a few ideas that obviously won't work now, but I think it's like just a continuous journey of learning. I mean, to me, there's honestly no destination. I learned this in fitness. Um, I'm planning to do a whole video. I actually like wrote down a script about everything the gym taught me. Honestly, like I could write whole rule book of life that has literally just been because of the gym. I think it's teaching me, it's taught me so much. And one of them is that there's no destination. Like the reason why I started gymming was because I was chubby and I was like, I want to lose weight, I want to get abs. You know, that was literally my freaking motivation. And I did. I got abs. And then I was like, bro, this is boring. Like, why would I like? And then it kind of like I kind of lost motivation. You know, I'm like, fuck. Like I've got here. Like, now what? Actually, girls don't really care if you have abs, dude. They don't give a crap. Like they have zero fucks about your abs. They actually do. Like, yeah, they'll like compliment, I don't know, Chris Evans' abs on freaking Avengers. But like when it in real life, like it doesn't really matter. And it's like, oh, then I don't need a gym. But then I'm like, actually, I kind of miss like going, you know, seeing the boys. You know, the pump's great. I was also like, dude, it clears my mind, man. I was like, oh shit. So yeah, I was like, that's why I gym. I don't gym to like get big muscles or get abs to impress girls anymore. It's like for me, it's like the gym is like my temple, man. Like I go there and freaking meditate. Like it's really the reason why like I think I've been able to get through some of the hardships in my life. And you know, gyms are closing. Well, they've just closed yesterday for another month because we've got a spike in cases here. And so like that gave me some anxiety. And I have exams. I'm like, bro, what am I gonna do? Um, I'm like, dude, just go for a run. Like, there's different ways to exercise. And so like, yeah, like I've had that where you know I would be injured because of the gym or injured because of sport, and I'll be like, dude, I can't gym or I can't play this sport. And then I'll find other ways, like whether that's stretching, mobility work, uh, doing exercises that don't aggravate the injury. So I do think like that teaches you something about life as well. It's like life's gonna throw curveballs, but like the last thing you should do is just be like dwell on the fact that you've gotten unlucky. Oh, I've gotten so unlucky, blah, blah, blah. Look at all the negatives. Yeah, that's the natural human condition. But then you just have to like, the gym basically reminds you like, oh, there's always an alternative. There's always another way to move towards your goal. And it's the same with the Kaizen mentality, right? It's like if you're improving 1%. So like, let's say when I injured my knee, I couldn't go running. I couldn't play the sport, but I could go to the gym and like, you know, train arms or whatever and do upper body and like do exercises that didn't really aggravate it. And like, look, I'm still improving. I'm still going to the gym. That's like that's something positive. So there's always something that like there's always something positive to look at no matter how bad the situation is. And that's what it's taught me as well. And so that's what I want to preach. I haven't been able to do much content now just because like I want to get university done with to the best of my ability because I do think like it's not about the grades for me. It's more about how hard have I worked because like it's the same. It's a notion of focus on what you can control, right? I can't control my grades because you know the marker might have a bad day and just not like my essay. I also have very messy handwriting. I used to get bad marks because of it because they couldn't read what I was writing. You know, so it's like you can't control what the marker is going to give you unless obviously it's that MCQ question like questionnaire or whatever. Um, but like you can't control your grades. But what you can control is how hard you work towards it. And So I developed that like quite late in my life. I wish I knew it when I was younger, to be fair. I wish I was 10 and I had myself being like, bro, Kaizen mentality, like I wish I like knew this when I was younger. And so that's why I think there's a lot of kids out there, that are watching Twitch streams, and like if I can put that out there, and if these kids can learn about this, I'm like, damn, that would be amazing for them. That would add so much value to their life. It would give them direction. If I can help them now, like how amazing is that? Like that's kind of like where my goal is at, and where what Dan and I want to do with Kaizen. And so yeah, I think that was a long answer.
I
um,
think from just listening, listening to you speak, and I think I can speak on behalf of pretty much every single person in the chat. Like the mindset you have and the mentality you have is inspirational, man. Like the way that you talk about, helping people, and the way that you talk about your own mentality and the way that you want to really do make a difference is, yeah, that's something that really everyone should really appreciate. Um, and I personally don't think, after speaking to you today, that you don't get enough credit for what you do. Um, I know the support is still good, and you still do have a lot of people that do show you that support, but I really don't think that the credit is enough. Um, and that's just from having one conversation with you today. Yeah,
I really appreciate that, man. And I do think like I might have to disagree with what you said about credit and stuff. Like I genuinely like if, let's say, like no one remembers me tomorrow, like whatever, I genuinely would like still be happy.
mm,
Like I tell myself this all the time. It's that it's not about getting recognition. It's not about um what's the word, like getting credit. It's not about that. For me, it's more about like, it might seem kind of selfless, but like it makes me feel good, like genuinely, like that would be one of the biggest reasons why I'm doing it, is because it also makes me feel good. So it's actually like a two-way street. Like I do love seeing people happy, and if it's because of me, that makes me happy,
yeah,
um and so like yeah, that's for me, that's more than I could ever ask for. And like when I turn on my stream, whoever comes in to say hi, like that's already like more than enough. It just You just want to like spend a little bit of your day to come and say hi. Like that to me is like more than I could ever ask for. Obviously, like if people sub, if people gift subs, like I don't do this for the money. Like bro, like it's not about the money for me. But I'm still grateful for every sub, because it's like the thought, it's the thought of it. Um, More than anything. Because like honestly, guys, money you'll learn is just it's just a number. I mean, there's a certain amount that you need, right? But like I think a lot of more fulfillment and joy, like happiness is a different thing. I do think like never chase happiness, because like happiness is very like in the moment. Sometimes you can't really control it. It just happens. And like if you're always seeking happiness, like it'll play with your head. It played with my head, right? But it's more about joy, because joy is kind of like more in the moment, more sustainable. It's more um it's something that you can really like try and look forward to, like doing things that bring you joy. um and for me, that's what I want to do, is if I wake up and I'm like, okay, today's a day, there might be some things that you don't want to do. Like even if you have your dream job, there's going to be an aspect that you don't want to do. That's just like normal. That's always going to be the case. But there's going to be a part of it that you're really like just excited to do, and that's going to get you through the hardships. um so yeah, like when you're young in your 20s, like take risks. I don't think your parents had it figured out when they were 20. Even like, I don't know, some millionaires out there, they were broke, they were in debt in their 20s, and then it really only started to make sense in their later on in their life. And so yeah, have fun. Don't I think this is a conversation I've had with myself many times. Don't chase money. um, Start saving if you are earning money, and but just try and make other people happy. Like it's so easy to do sometimes. Like literally just going to someone's stream and saying hi, hope you have a wonderful day. I like your hat, or nice t-shirt, or your hair looks good today. Like just like throw a little compliment. Like say you are beautiful. Like just like say something nice because that's gonna make you feel good. Um, and like I mean that honestly, like as simple as it gets, like that's kind of what life's about. It's about other people at the end of the day. Because I think you know it might kind of sound not dystopian, but like pessimistic in a way. But like all we are eventually going to be is memories, and people are only going to remember how you make them feel, not what you look like or whatever. It's about how you make them feel, and so treat people like the way you want to be treated, um, and just try and be as positive when you can. Like you're gonna have bad times, 100%. I've had freaking dark times. Many of us have, but I think like we do have to remember that emotion is temporary. Like it comes in waves. It'll be great one day and it'll be bad one day. Like, and then sometimes I catch myself like, dude, why can't every day be great? Why can't I feel amazing every day? And then you start to think about like what makes you happy, and then you start to do those things more, and then you know, because of those bad times, you understand what brings you joy. For me, it was like I didn't gym for like 12 months, like not 12 months, 10 months. I didn't run for 12 months. I started gymming and running again. And then Kaizen I created this idea. It was actually, I don't know if you heard of the Kaizen 48, which is kind of the biggest thing, what helped my Twitch grow like crazy, which is what Dan and I did. We did a 24-kilometer run and then went a 24-hour stream after. And it helped both of us because it gave us a purpose, but it also like inspired a lot of people to be like, oh, okay, like, it's like the reason for this was to raise mental health awareness. Like for me, it's like the gym exercise. Like that's what the running aspect meant. And the streaming aspect is like you can use that knowledge that you've gained through life or whatever, and you can spread it on stream, and you can help other people by just being positive on the stream. And it's okay to be negative on stream sometimes. Like don't fake it, like, but like think about your energy. Like if you're spreading bad vibes, like you're also, like make sure you can take care of yourself first. Because we all have a responsibility when you're on a social media platform like we discussed today, like that it's about, helping others, value creation. Like if you genuinely want to grow, think about what kind of value are you putting out there. So yeah, um,
Wow.
I don't remember what the question was. I hope it was answered. So yeah, I think that's what life's about. It's about being your best self so that you can be there for other people, that you can make the world a better place, no matter how small. Because especially with streaming, like if there's 10 people, if there's one person watching you, that's one person that you can like just make happy, by, I don't know, playing the game well, saying something positive, um, laughing at yourself when you make stupid mistakes on the game. And something that I try and like work on, like something I need to work on myself is trying to take like try to take life less seriously, because I'm an overthinker by nature. I I've been riddled with anxiety my whole life. I've always been socially, I've had social anxiety, been really bad at some points, and I think like this whole mentality of just taking life less seriously, like screw it, like honestly, like I've said the F word a few times, but like honestly, like sometimes I just say fuck it, I just fuck it, like yeah, well, like life's too short to be like overthinking. That's why I remind myself. And when I feel low sometimes, I just remember what things bring me joy, whether that's watching a stream, whether that's going out for a walk, whether that's eating good food, whether that's exercising, going to the gym, whether that's actually fixing my sleep pattern. Um, and so yeah, I, I do think like that's hope. That's what I hope, and what my buddy Dan hopes to do with Kaizen is to create a brand that people can feel a part of, that people can feel deeply connected to, that they understand the meaning of it, and most importantly can apply it to their own lives, which is kind of the more tricky part. I think understanding it is very easy, but applying it is kind of what I want to create content around. um, Whether that's going to be gaming, whether that's going to be fitness, whether that's going to be with financial stuff, whether that's going to be with relationships, um, just like everything in life, there's a way to incorporate the Kaizen mentality. And yeah, we hope to make content around that. That's going to be our goal. And yeah, I'm genuinely excited for the future. Just want to get these exams done. uh,
No, I think
yeah.
everyone can say that, we can see a huge future for yourself and Dan and Kaizen as a brand. Especially like you say, your sole focus has been university. Um, and even doing the university course like we were speaking to briefly before we started, doing a university course that was in the UK from Singapore,
Yep.
that's that's a challenge in itself. So again, hats off for
Thank
that.
you.
We've got one last question, and then we've got a bit
Hmm.
of a funny question to end on. Just
I can
just
already tell what's gonna
so
be. Yeah.
if you could work with one person that you obviously haven't already
Mm.
worked with, um,
Oh,
up to
okay.
this date, who would it be?
Wow. That I haven't worked with yet.
Yeah, someone that you've not worked with yet.
It's an interesting question. Does it have to be in the gaming industry?
No, can be anyone that you feel relates to you best, which you would want to. Yeah.
That's a really good question. Because of course, I do have role models in my life. Um, People that I do kind of see as like a mentor in certain ways. Um, but I'm gonna give you kind of a weird answer. Like, I genuinely think um, my brother who's funnily enough, he can be the hardest person on me. Um, but at the same time, like he's always supported me. He's always just been there for me. And I know, like for me, it's not about you know building a business with him. I don't think like family should mix in business. Like I've read case studies, I've heard interviews and things. It just doesn't work out. It's not fair.
Yeah.
Um, so I wouldn't start a business with him, but he's just such a interesting dude. Been my he's been my best friend my whole life. Even though he's not perfect, but I would love to do something with him. I do think that he's very intelligent. He's got great ideas, but he does need someone to like just like give him a kick in the butt once in a while. He's actually very accomplished though. He did really well in the army, won a lot of awards. He graduated from officer school, and he's a sniper in the army, so he's got a really cool job as well. And just amazing in the army. But sometimes when it comes to life, he's just that little brother that needs a little bit of direction. So I do want to like help him in a way. And that's why I would like to work with him because he's helped me. He's always been like, it's gonna be okay. It's gonna be okay. Like head up. Um, and he's going to start uni. He just finished his army service, so he's going to university. And maybe in the future, if he wants help with something, like I would love to work with him on a project. And yeah, so yeah, that would be my answer. Um,
Cool. Okay, now the last question. So
yeah.
I've started to ask every single guest this very question. I've come up with some very weird answers, so I'm expecting big things. So you're deserted on an island. I'm going to give you
Ooh.
3 items to take, and you've got one person that's going to be with you. Go.
Oh, that's a good one. Oh, damn, 3 items.
Yeah.
Sheesh. What's the chance of survival? Like, am I like?
Depend.
Do I see ships passing? Do I see airplanes? Like,
It depends on the items that you're going to get. Like,
yeah.
if
Well,
you
what's the extent? Can I say like I want a plane and a pilot to be or a helicopter and a pilot with me? Like, can I say that?
no, we'll say anything to escape off the island. No, you
Oh
can't
yeah,
have it.
helicopter, no.
No.
uh, so okay, how about we just say like I'm gonna try and live there as long as I can. There's
Yeah,
no chance of escaping, right? Just like survive on an island
yeah,
essentially. Um, damn. I would need like I'd probably need like a barbell or dumbbells. I think that would be like something like just to stay jacked, you know. No, no. Okay, okay. I'm joking. I'm joking. No way I'd bring dumbbells. That'd be like a waste of energy. You know, I'd die faster because all my nutrition would just go to my gains. No, I would bring like they have these like a water filtration system. So like I don't know, a water purifier, I guess.
yeah.
Uh, that I would. Um, I definitely have like an axe or like something like I can cut wood with because I got to build shelter, right? I definitely have like an axe. Um, so water purification axe. I can use the axe to hunt, and then I want a dog. I would love a dog. Yeah, I'd have a dog. I don't know how long he's gonna live for, but like, I definitely have a dog because I don't know. Dogs just make you happy, you know. Um,
And who would you take with you? This is the important question.
I definitely take some like freaking hot like Megan Fox, dude.
Yeah,
Back in her Transformer days.
yeah. I think
I definitely have a girl. I definitely have a girl.
yeah.
hundred
I
percent.
think you'd have to.
Yeah,
Yeah.
yeah,
Oh,
yeah. Megan Fox in her Transformer days. Um, I would definitely take. No, actually, to be fair, I have a girl in mind, but I don't want to say it on stream. It's like I know her personally, and she might watch this video. I don't know, but yeah, someone like uh, yeah, someone to keep me company, I guess. And I don't know. Yeah, that would be my items. What do people normally say? What's like
we've
the
had a
weirdest
few
one you've
weird
heard?
ones. Angus wanted to have a compass, sword.
Compass. You're
Yeah,
gonna be on a freaking island,
I
bro.
think, and I think he said a book as well.
A
Um,
book.
yeah, we've had a few, which are a bit questionable, but I think you came with the actually a bit of a smart approach, with survival. Um, but what we'll call it there, guys. I know Carl, you've got to go out. So
Yeah, I've got to go. Like, I've got another call soon.
yeah,
But
so
yeah, if you want to do an outro or anything.
yeah, honestly, I really appreciate you coming on. Been an absolute pleasure. Again, like I said, want to reiterate, how inspirational you are for a lot of people. A lot of people that you help and things like that. Obviously, all the love from the chat. Obviously, it's been mind blown, guys. If you're not following Kyle already on any of his socials, please do. I will be uploading this to YouTube as well, for anyone that didn't get the full podcast, and we can also listen to it on Spotify and other offline applications as well. But I'll post that all on Twitter for you guys. And again, on the YouTube, it will show all of Kyle's socials. So please, please go and show him the love in all of the socials. And again, thank
Awesome.
you very much.
Yeah. Thanks to everyone for tuning in. Like the chat's just been going on. I have it like over here, right? The amount of people that have been tuning in, gassing. I see all of you guys. Trust me. Um, obviously I couldn't like talk to chat because it's not my stream. But guys, thank you so much for tuning in. Like it really means the world to me, and I'm sure it means a lot to Mr. Straw Harry over here. And honestly, like thank you so much for taking the time to organize this and bring me on the podcast. Like it's always a pleasure because like I love podcasts because you talk about yourself. Like
Yeah.
I don't get to do that often. I don't. And it's like almost like it's cathartic in a way that I get to share this, and it makes me feel like feel happy that I can do this. That I feel blessed genuinely that you would even want someone like me on the podcast. So thank you so much, and like keep doing what you're doing. You seem like a really really nice guy. Maybe run Warzone with you one day.
Definitely.
I'll
I think that's
probably
in
have to
the.
be on super high ping, but it's okay. I've been.
No,
I
definitely,
enjoy
bro.
it. I like, yeah,
Definitely. Right.
appreciate everyone. I appreciate you.
Thank you
And
very much.
till next time.
Peace.